Studying human beings is different than studying, say, chemistry. Studying human beings requires an empathetic rediscovery in the object of one's study. My scholarly life is devoted really to understanding the history and people of Russia and its neighbors. I've been an affiliate of the Melikian Center since I arrived back in 1993. It's been an exciting intellectual journey to be here. I enjoy teaching religious studies. It gives me an opportunity to help students understand ideas and worldviews that are quite different from their own. I got interested in Russia when I was in high school. At the time when I was growing up, New Orleans was a port city where we were sending grain to the Soviet Union, and we actually had Soviet sailors, so there were Soviet sailors who came to our class. I remember trying to talk to them, so that was a fun experience. During that time, I became more and more interested in Russian culture, particularly interested in the lives of Christians in Russia, which was, at the time, in the 1970s, an officially atheist state. Religion was discouraged and sometimes actively persecuted. In 1983, I was fortunate enough to get an International Research and Exchanges Board grant to go to Russia. I did have a really life-changing experience working in the libraries, meeting scholars, and especially making friends with fellow Russians. I lived in a dormitory. I had a Russian roommate. It was a great experience, and certainly it's allowed me to understand what living in a totalitarian society was like. I have a couple of projects right now. The first is a history of spiritual Christianity. These Christians rejected the Orthodox Church's sacraments, hierarchy, churches, icons, and instead argued that true Christianity was spiritual. Orthodox churches, of course, are filled with these images of saints and holy people. For the spiritual Christians, the human person is the image of God. The ones that I'm most focused on right now are the Melikans. It's a term that refers to their practice of drinking milk during the Orthodox fast. Melikans began to emigrate to the United States in the early 20th century. Some of them actually coming to Arizona. Since then it's declined, but there are still Melikans here. The second project is I'm working on a map of ethnic and religious communities in Russia that's historical, diachronic, and interactive. The goal is to try to understand how religious communities have changed and moved over time. And of religion in Russia ranges from Buddhism to Islam to Orthodox Christianity. It's really, really quite diverse. These ways of trying to understand people who lived long ago and far away can also be used to understand people that you're relating to right now. And I like to communicate that to my students, that is, putting yourself in someone else's shoes and doing it rigorously. I mean, realizing that your conceptions may be wrong and be aware of evidence that might contradict the kind of hypotheses that you're making. More and more different kinds of people are coming together in the world of globalization, where these kinds of tools are very helpful for students who are trying to develop their careers and their lives.